Hello everyone, this is OGAE Azerbaijan, and this time we have a duo. Their voices and their lives go hand by hand. A romantic couple whose love brings union of Czech Republic, France, and Israel together. It's Emma Smetana and Jordan Haj.
So by now, if you met people and had fun, if something from the past comes to hunt you down, would you let it go or would you run?
I think it was the nicest introduction we've ever had. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. So can you please tell me who is Emma Smetana and Jordan Haj?
Okay, so I will start with him. Jordan Haj is, as you've said, a Czech Israeli guy whom I met 13 years ago when he was starting his acting studies in Prague. So he's originally an actor, then became also a director. He's been doing many tons of music videos for the whole Czech scene. And he's an amazing musician, singer, composer. He's the author of By Now, which is the song we are present at the Eurovision with. That's the competing song. He's also the father of my two fantastic daughters. So he's a very good genetic material. And I love him, and I love doing music and everything else with him. And I like this system of me presenting you, and now the bar is high, so say something nice about me.
Emma is half Czech, half French, amazing woman that I met 13 years ago. When I met her, she was studying political science at Sciences Po in Paris, and then a year later, after I met her, she was still studying, but in Berlin. She has a double degree in political science, but she comes from a family where her father was a musical producer and owner of a big Paris rock club.
No, he was never the owner. He hated the owners.
Okay, so
he was
running
the director artistique.
So he was running the biggest rock club in Paris in the 80s. And so that's her connection to music from the family. And she moved to the Czech Republic because of me and didn't know what to do really in the Czech Republic. So she started acting in the beginning, went to a few castings, and then she became the TV anchor first it was for the morning and then for the evening news, main news of the biggest TV station here in the Czech Republic called TV Nova, which she left 3 years later and started working in an alternative platform called DVTV on the internet, doing interviews with a lot of people in the Czech Republic and abroad, like Billie Eilish, for example. And
you can find that on YouTube.
Oh my God!
Somewhere in the middle of this all, she released her first debut album, and I was lucky enough to be part of it as a co-composer or co-producer. And just years later, I started my own solo career, like actually quite recently.
Yes, last year it was the best year to start a solo career because many concerts went on, and I mean the time is fantastic. He's a genius when it comes to time management. So he started his solo career in 2020. Right
when
after,
it was impossible to go
right
to
after
concerts.
the start of the pandemic.
It's a very creative way of introduction, and I love it. So as Jordan, you said Emma studied politics. So Emma, can you tell me how well does music go with politics?
Oh, it's great for procrastination when you're a political science student. And no, I'm kidding. I don't know. That's a great question, of course. I'm not sure I have a great answer to that. I mean, for me, my mother was an activist, and she was the spokesperson of the student movement who in '89 somehow indirectly overthrew communism. So I was born into a mother who was very publicly and politically involved. So that was one strong influence, and the other was from my father, as Jordan said, who was a musician, a producer, a manager, a DJ, and who was, I think he was a bit ashamed of not having a university degree, because he actually studied economics sometime in the 60s, but economics by then were about how fantastic, you know, the Soviet era and the five-year plan is. So he rather got a, you know, some kind of proof that he's crazy. So he got out of university, he got kicked out, and he didn't go to the army. That was the main goal. So him not having a university degree, it meant a lot to him that his daughter, his only child, that's to say me, would actually study something, you know, serious and solid. So that's what I did. And there was this, I would say, intellectual and academic pressure from both sides, from both parents, which I think was quite good, because at the age of 23, when I finished these two universities Jordan mentioned, I thought, and I was very encouraged in this thought by Jordan, that maybe the right time has come to try to get back to something that I would really be passionate about, that would be less in the brain, more in the heart, to say it in a cliche way, but it's actually true. So yeah, I think these two things go quite well together, and that's why I've been both a journalist and a musician, or an artist in general terms of the, yeah. So I don't know. It seems hard to understand to some people, like my, you know, former professors or students from the university, who would want me to be one thing and like make a clear choice. But what I am is an indecisive person that likes to combine all those interests.
That's really, really cool, because like I think like everyone has to follow their heart, like whatever they want. And then let's move to Jordan. You study acting. So which one is harder to do, singing or acting?
Oh, definitely singing, because I'm not fluent in it. I'm not suave in it, because I'm still trying to find my way to the musical me, if you know what I mean. Like I'm not a natural musician. I'm not someone who was born into a musical family. I'm not someone who like if you met me when I was 16, 17, 18, even if you met me when I was 20, I was far from being a musician. That's something that came later. There was something that happened like on the way, I guess like maybe 3-4 years ago, just like that recently, when I finally or suddenly found a way how to put words into singing, found my color of voice and this broken color of my voice that sounds like I'm doing it you know, on purpose. It's something that is the only way I can sing, actually. Like I'm not a good singer. I'm really not a good singer. I can sing the way you hear me on these recordings, but I can't like sing, you know, traditional songs, for example. Even with acting, for me, it was like I'm coming from a background of intellectual family. Let's say my parents are both doctors, so but it was obvious and clear from the top that I'm sort of useless for anything else apart from art. So it you know, it must have been art in that form or another. It's like I was painting when I was a kid. And then later I started, you know, doing drama. They thought I'm going to be an actor. I thought I'm going to be an actor. And then I was accepted to the school, to the Academy of Dramatic Arts here, and I started studying it. And then during the studies, I started realizing that maybe that's not the only thing I want to do. Maybe that's something I may be suffocating in a theater waiting for a role. So I started directing. It must be some form of art that I'm going to do, but it's not. Like a few years ago, I wasn't sure it's going to be music. Mm-hmm. Like now I know it's music, but that's a new thing for me, actually.
And Emma, in 2016, you joined forces with producer George Burian. How did this cooperation start?
There is a music festival in the Czech Republic called Colors of Ostrava, which is probably the best music festival we have. a few friends of ours knew that George Burian, they somehow introduced us there. We got along. Then he drove us back to Prague because it's a 4-hour drive. So yeah, we needed somebody to drive us back home. It happened to be him. And in the middle of the ride, Jordan did something very unusual because he never does. He started speaking not about himself, but about me. And he mentioned that this, TV presenter, this news person, Emma, this very serious face, actually does
dreams about being a singer.
You didn't say that.
No.
You said I was playing the piano, and you said I would be, that I was an author composing songs, etc. And George Burian got somehow interested immediately. So he invited himself to our kitchen where we're sitting right now.
To this very kitchen.
To this very kitchen with a recording machine. And he asked me to play a few songs of mine, which I did. So we started seeing each other in order to work on music. We went to my grandmother's country house cottage. And that's how my first album, What I've Done, was born. And Warner Music, for some reason, was interested in releasing it. And the funny thing is that my third single was No Fire, which is the first duet with Jordan. And I think that was the biggest, real hit. So there is some impact when I release something by myself or when he does solo. But somehow there's something that the audience and heads of radios seem to like when the two of us do something where we not only produce it together, write it together, but also sing it together.
About No Fire, made it to mainstream radio and became a hit. So can you tell me what's the magic?
If we only knew. If it was something you can verbally explain, it would mean there is a secret or not so secret.
So your first single, Waiting, was nominated for an Andel's Music Awards for Video of the Year.
So that first music video, which I like, but I think it's the worst we've done so far. But it was the only one that got nominated. I felt it was a sign of encouragement from the Academy. I appreciated it. Of course, it didn't win, and we never got nominated again with any music video, even though.
And actually, how does this songwriting process work for you? So is it actually happened in that kitchen since your piano is there?
You mean this song?
Yeah, we have two pianos. There's one here, that's an electric one. There's a real wooden one in the living room where we cannot go because our daughters are there and you would hear nothing from what we're saying. Also, well, I mean, by now was, it did.
But I was composed. I never composed on a piano. I composed on a guitar. So, but it was probably somewhere here, or maybe.
Yeah, it was somewhere here.
Maybe in the bathroom or a toilet, because that's somewhere you can lock yourself, so you can have a minute of quiet and you can compose something. But there's many loud people living in this apartment, like a 5-year-old daughter, Lennon, who does nothing but singing all day long.
Yeah, but
so
the fact is she sings better than the two of us together. So.
But she sings very loud, so you cannot really compose.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please tell us what message would you like to convey through your song by now to your listeners?
So musically, the song was finished and written in this kitchen, actually weeks ago. But lyrically, the lyrics of the song were written. I wrote them on Bali in the beginning of this year. It was January, where we arrived on the island of Bali in Indonesia. And maybe hours, not even days after we arrived, the borders of Indonesia were closed. And so were the borders of, basically every country in the world back then in January. Everybody remembers that. So it was like this whole world was in a lockdown and we were on this island. And maybe days after, we spent there 2 months, and days after our arrival, the last tourists, like normal, regular tourists, left the island, and we stayed there, and we were left with Balinese people. and something one might call digital nomads, like people who decide not to live in their home country, not to be in their hometown, but to, you know, just go far away, maybe to Asia, and find themselves. And I was looking at these people every morning, and I saw these happy people, basically happy people. But there's this songwriter in me who always looks in the eyes and see the broken people as well. So I was thinking, maybe all these people, all these happy people with this amazing color from the sun and these nice bodies from surfing and from eating fruits every day and being just, you know, calm. Maybe all these people are running away, or maybe some of them running away from something in their hometown, in their home country. Maybe there is a path that was drawn for them, a school they were meant to study, and a work they were meant to do, and a pyramid of Western standards and Western values they were supposed to climb, you know, slowly, suffocating in a cold city, you know, trying to become someone, to do the real thing, to earn a lot of money. And they have decided, these people, these few people that I see on the island, have decided they will not go this way. They will just leave it all. They will, you know, they will just leave this ambition behind. And they will go to this island, leave all these untold things with their parents and relationship that didn't go as planned. They will leave that behind, and they will go and try to heal their heart, you know, and find inner peace in a way. Mm-hmm. Try a way to connect to the child that is, you know, hidden somewhere here. And that song is basically a love letter. It's a love letter to all these people. It's a love letter from a point of view of someone who have stayed, you know, behind in the cold city, in the system, and is writing to a girl in this, you know, in this song, and asking her, so how does it go? How did it go? How did you find yourself? Did you find peace? Did you manage to heal your heart? Because, you know, you have left all the hurry and all the money, your mother, and you can add anything, you know, after. If you start a sentence, your mother, then you can continue, you can write a book after that, you know, and my mother, and, you know, the big hit, the habit, you know, these hard evenings, and the desperate calls for help, and the city that is cold and mean, that made you mean and cold. You left it all behind. You went away, you ran away. So how does it go? Did you meet people? Did you manage to find yourself? Did you manage to be happy? So that's a song. It's a love letter.
That's very beautiful, actually, message, and I really like it.
Thank you.
How did the idea come to apply for the selection?
There's like two approaches to Eurovision in general, because me growing up in Israel, I remember, you know, the whole country actually breeding for Eurovision when it happens. It's a big thing in Israel. It's enormously popular, and everybody likes that for obvious reasons. Israel won Eurovision a few times, right? And it's always a big deal. So I grew up in this environment of like everybody having a big deal with Eurovision. And there's another reason. It's because 3 years ago, me and my cousin did a music video for Lake Malawi, the Czech band who represented the Czech Republic, and went to Tel Aviv. And part of the deal was we did the video, Friend of a Friend was the song. And part of the deal was that if they get accepted and they go to Tel Aviv, we can go with them for a vacation, just to see, you know, to see the live shows. And so me and Emma here and my cousin Givi went to Tel Aviv to see Eurovision for the first time, to see, you know, to see the actual show. And when sitting in the audience, we were actually amazed by how big, how rich and amazingly done the whole thing is. And I don't think maybe it was just a subconscious thing, but, you know, when you see it live, when you see the shows, when you see what good it can do for a song, you know, to be performed in, you know, on this stage with these lights and this sound and, you know, this staging, maybe that's the starting point, like in the subconscious, to like, you know, start thinking about being part of this huge thing. Now when we are competing in this country for like who is gonna go to Torino, our music already got to find new audience abroad that wouldn't never come across it otherwise. So that's amazing already. You know, suddenly we get reactions from all over the world, basically, or Europe at least. So it's amazing. You're reaching new people, and they listen to your music, and then they listen to other songs that we did, you know, and that's good. That's amazing. That's amazing already.
Were you actually expecting to be among Lucky 7, since there were like 150 songs, which gave the jury a hard time to select the songs, right?
I think we were self-confident enough, when it comes to the national round. I wouldn't want to lie. I think we did expect to be among the 7, but we do not expect to win the national round.
No, not at all.
No.
That's an honest...
But don't say that. You never know, you know?
We don't know, but you want the truth. And the truth is, we don't expect it to happen because there's a certain logic behind Eurovision and the core Eurovision fans. And there's a few acts that would more naturally fit into the definition of traditional Eurovision. Of course, anything can happen, and we will be extremely happy and proud to
also
represent.
Extremely surprised.
But also extremely surprised if we're the lucky ones.
So, if you are actually the one selected to represent Czech Republic in Eurovision Song Contest, what will make you stand out? What would you say?
Well, Jordan will probably find an idea about the staging itself because he's the more visual person. Then also, no matter who goes from the Czech Republic, the team that the Czech television has set up for this is amazing. Basically the biggest professionals you can get in this country. If it was the two of us, I think the strength could lay in the fact that, you know, when we are on stage, we don't really act because we actually do like each other. And there is something probably attractive to that, to people who watch it somehow. But it's so hard to describe something when you are the subject of it, you know. We would probably be better at describing the strengths or the charm of anyone else but ourselves, because and the fact is that the Czech television has invited all the 7 contestants to do a live performance of the songs, and some of them already had a, you know, choreography, some kind of pre-prepared show. We didn't. We just flew in from Paris that morning. From the airport, we went to the studio of Czech television, and we had 5 tries and a few rehearsals. So what you can see there is the first idea or first offer we have to make when it comes to putting us 2 together in a space where there's nothing except, you know, light design. So probably we would be more ambitious than that. You
probably have listened all the other 6 songs, right? If it's not you, who you would like to represent Czech Republic this year in Eurovision?
Oh, that's hard because we are such a small country. We all know each other and we're friends and we like all the people that are contesting. So that's really hard to say. The good news is whoever goes, it will be, you know, be in good hands. It will be a professional production. So we will not be ashamed of, you know, this person or this group representing the country. It cannot go wrong from now on. No. I know it's not the ideal thing to say when we are competing with the others, but it's the truth. It cannot go wrong from this point on. They've chosen 7 people or 7 acts, and they will all have the same support, you know, whoever wins, and it's gonna be good anyway. So,
do you have any message for your fans?
Well, thank you for existing would be my message to any fan. Thank you for being there, and being interested in the music. Yeah, I mean, and tell your friends they should be fans as well. no matter how Eurovision goes, we would like to do a European tour next year. So please come and see us if we are in your, I'm not sure city, but country at least. We would love that because yeah, we actually have this dream of exporting the music to all the corners of Europe and maybe beyond. But let's start with Europe. So you can follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and let us know what you think, because this is the first time in our lives we're getting feedback from non-Czech fans. So we're really grateful for any reaction.
Okay. If I ask, can you please sing your song a little?
Deux enfants, deux filles, deux visages, deux couleurs. You said the city is mean and cold. I'm suffocating, I can't breathe at all. I can't breathe. I'm eating old. I'm living in a house that ain't no home. So by now, people and had fun. Something from the past comes to hunt you down. Would you let it go? Would you run? So by now, the color of your hair. Did you keep your name? I remain the same. Something in the air you're feeling. That is how your heart is healing. By now, by now. It's something in the air you're feeling. That is how your heart is healing. By now, by now.
Oh my God, thank you very much. Like
You're very welcome.
you are making me cry. Thank you. But it was great to talk to you. Great interview. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you also enjoyed the questions.
Yes, we did. We did. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're amazing. Call us anytime.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you
Good
so
luck,
much.
guys.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.